Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Niranjan, please lead the program.
Very warm good evening to all signatories, teachers, and students who have gathered here for this webinar conducted by the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Providence Women's College, in association with the Research and Development Tech. I am Niranjana Nayak on behalf of Department of Mathematics. This marks the second day of our international multidisciplinary webinar series, Coach. We'll start our session by seeking the blessings from the Almighty. We have the prayer by Sonal Preet.
Yes, I can hear.
കാണായ ലോകങ്ങൾ കാക്കുന്ന ദേവ കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധു നമിക്കുന്നു നിന്നെ കരളിൽ
ഞാൻ അങ്ങോട്ട് പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കണ്ടോ?
നിൻ പാദസോ നമിക്കുന്നു നിന്നെ കാണായ ലോകങ്ങൾ കാക്കുന്ന ദേവ കാരുണ്യ സിന്ധു നമിക്കുന്നു നിന്നെ കരളിന്റെ പൂക്കൾ നിൻ പാദതാരിൽ കാണിക്ക വച്ചു നമിക്കുന്നു നിന്നെ ലോക സമസ്ത സുഖിനോ ഭവന്തു ഈ മന്ത്രം ഈ ലോകമെന്നും മുഴങ്ങാൻ വിജ്ഞാനദീപം നിറകത ചൂടാൻ നേരിന്റെ പാത തെളിക്കണമേ നീ.
Next, I would like to invite Ms. Abhijaya for the welcome speech.
ഞാൻ audible ആണോ?
Yes.
Yes.
A good day to one and all present here. It is my privilege to be here today addressing the gathering. First and foremost, let me welcome the chief guest of the day, Dr. Malikapu, Professor, University of Nuevo Leon, Mexico. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Next, I welcome Ms. Aishwarya Paul, Head of the Department of Mathematics. Welcome, ma'am. I welcome Assistant Professor Ms. Priya. Welcome, ma'am. I also welcome all the teachers and my fellow friends gathered here. Let us all enjoy this wonderful session and make it interactive. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhijaya. Now, may I call upon Ms. Priya, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you, Niranjana. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Respected Principal, Dr. Sister Ashtika, Resource Person of the Day, Dr. Robish Vallikaungal Devasya, R&D Coordinators, Dr. Priyadarshini, Dr. Sangeeta Kaimal, HOD Aishwarya Paul, colleagues and dear students. A very good evening to one and all. Today, it gives me an immense pleasure to introduce you all to Dr. Robish Vallikaungal Devasya, Professor, University of Nuevo Leon, Mexico. For me, he is not just a renowned personality, but he was my senior in university. Really, that he has accepted our invitation because for him, I think it's early morning. Yet he is paid to be a part of our this section. Come to his academic part, he has done his BSc from Nirmala College, Kannur, MSc Tech in Mathematics from NIT Calicut, PhD from University of Nuevo Leon, Mexico, postdoc Technologico de Monterrey. and his areas of experts and research interest are optimization and scheduling, mechanical programming, modeling, programming decision making, learning for meta-heuristics, optimization in machine learning, data science, logistic and transportation problems, optimization from big data, meta-heuristic and heuristic optimization. I'm sure this session is going to be beneficial to each and every one of us. He would enlighten more on resource constraint, scheduling in flexible job shop, and scheduling problems. I request everyone who have gathered here to benefit maximum from this session, as it would help in your future work. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite our chief guest of today, Dr. Jobish Vallikavul Devasya. He is a person with great academic excellence. He did his undergraduation in mathematics from Nirmalagiri College, Kannur, and completed his MSc Tech in Mathematics and Scientific Computing from National Institute of Technology, Calicut. He pursued his PhD from University of Nuevo León, Mexico, and he did his postdoctoral from Tecnológico de Monterrey. Now, he is currently working as a professor in School of Mathematics and Physics, the University of Nuevo León, Mexico. Sir, it's time to hear from you.
Thank you for having me here. Let me share my screen. So I am basically from Wayanad, and I studied my bachelor degree in mathematics from Nirmalagiri College, Kannur. Then I started my MSc from NIT Calicut. Priya was my junior. Now after that, my MSc Tech, I started my PhD here in Nuevo León. So this is a project I have done with my professors Maria Angelica Salazar and Wilson Boyer. This presentation, we are seeing a resource constraint scheduling problem. Resource constraint scheduling problem in flexible job shop scheduling context. So what we will see in this presentation, first we will see a motivation of this problem. Then, do you see my screen right now? This presentation in this presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So first we will see your motivation and have introduction to the problem. Then a small literature review, a case study. In case study, we will see a proving problem and a problem description and a solution procedure based on GRASP. We will see what is a GRASP. Then we will see a flexible job shop scheduling problem with resource recovery constraints. There also we'll see the problem description, a mathematical formulation, and a meta-heuristic based on a general variable neighborhood search algorithm. And we will see conclusions. What is the motivation to this problem is a scheduling problem we found in a brewing company. And here in Mexico represents 63 million consumers market in the brewing market. And this problem is a batch scheduling production problem. And the complexity of the resource constraints and recovery nature of the resources and solution procedure that can be used as the basis for similar problems in the other industries. So we will see what is the complexity of the resource constraints and what are the recovery nature of the resources. We will see in detail with an example. So if you are looking for Mexico, we will see a number of brewing companies, and we are locating here in Nuevo León, Monterrey, and we study this problem in this company. So if you are looking for the beer exports, Mexico is the #1 country in beer exports. And this is a general description or general schematic representation of a brewing process. So first we will have raw materials, then we have a number of cooking houses in parallel, and we call these are the machines in parallel. After that, we are filtering and hot cooling. And at the second stage, we go to the fermentation and resting. Then we will have the beer and we send for the packing. So we are studying until this stage, until the fermentation, and we are not considering the resting stage, beering and packing and transportation. We are not considering in this presentation. We consider until only the fermentation. So how is the what assignment to the cooking. So what is this representation here? We have initial current time. Initially we are at 0, 0. So we have, for example, we are considering 4 fermentation tanks with different sizes. So fermentation tank 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the availability time, next availability time. So in the production horizon, the next first hour, we available the tank 2, and the second hour, tank 1 is available. At the 40th hour, tank 3 is available. For some reason, tank 3 is not available during the first 14 hours. And the tank 4 is available in the 60th hour of the production horizon. We have a number of resources available in batches. So we have 3 resources. These resources are yeast. Yeast we are using for the fermentation of the beer. So we have resource 1, resource 2, or resource 3, or yeast 1, 2, and 3. So when we are reaching the time 1, we are assigning 1 resource to 1 cooking line. So remember, the tank is available at the first hour of the production. So when we reach the first hour, the tank is available and resource also available. We are assigning that cooking line with an yeast or with a resource to the tank. Then when the time is 2, the next tank is available. So when time is 2, we are assigning a resource to this cooking line. So in the similar fashion, we are assigning all the resources, and the current time now is 10. And when we are assigning all the resources, this tank is full. So once when this tank is full, the tank is available after certain time. So next availability will be the 80th hour of the production horizon. So we cannot make any more assignments to this tank, but we can assign to the assignments to this other tanks available. So current time is 10, and only available tank is tank 1. So we are assigning in the similar fashion to the other tanks. When reach that time 14, this tank is full, and the next availability of the tank 1 is 22. So we are continuing the process in the similar fashion to the other available tanks. So when we reach 20, this tank is not available, and the next availability of this tank is 29. Meantime, the 80th hour, the tank 2 was available. So current time is 20, this tank is available, so we can make the assignment of resources with the cooking words to this tank again. So we will see the case study of this brewing problem. Major characteristics of the problem are multiple products. So multiple products means we are dealing with different types of beers. So beer type 1, 2, 3, like we have 6 type of beers available. And multiple unrelated and non-identical parallel machines. These machines, we are referring to the cooking houses or cooking machines of the beer. And we have several heterogeneous tanks, means tanks with different characteristics. And scheduling of maintenance operations. Maintenance operations, mainly we refer to the cleaning of the tanks and the machines. And the sequence dependent setup time. What is sequence dependent setup time here in this context? If you are using the same beers, we don't need to take much time for cleaning operations. But if you are using the different beers, so we have to clean thoroughly the cooking machines. And objective is to minimize the make span. Minimize the make span means we have to finish the last operation of the production as early as possible. So if we go through the literature review, we have searched for the batch production problems with the parallel machines. We have seen number of the works with certain characteristics. First one is a sequence dependent setup time. Next is family constraints. And the third one is resource constraints and capacity constraints. So if we are looking throughout the literature, only one work, Lozano and Magdalia, has addressed all the problems in 2013 with all these characteristics. And we will see what is the pseudocode of the GRASP algorithm. So in order to address this problem, what we have done, we proposed a grasp algorithm to solve this problem. So as an input, we need instances of the problem, and we set IT max, maximum number of iterations. And we call SP as the best found solution, and the iterator we set it to 0. And the best found solution we set as empty. Then we will repeat the entire procedure until we meet the stopping criteria. So what we will do is, first we construct a solution, and the constructed solution we call S, and this S we will improve, and the improved solution we call S prime. Then we update the initial solution and update best solution. So then we go to the next stage, then we go to the next iterator, and we repeat the entire procedure until we meet the stopping criterion or IT max. So we will see what is how we will construct the solution and how we will improve the solution. We will see now. So how we construct, this is the general schema of the grasp algorithm. Here what we will do, we will create multiple times constructing a solution, improve the solution, and update the constructing solution and update the best solution. So we will see how we will construct the solution in the constructive algorithm. This phase consists of constructing an initial solution, a sequence of batches. Each batch consists of several words or operations that must be processed in compatible machines. Each yeast should not be used more than 5 consecutive times, because this is the one restriction given by the company. So they use the one yeast maximum of 5 times. After the 5 times, they will trash that yeast. So each wort coefficient assigned to one available and compatible machine. So what we will do in constructive algorithm is identify the fermentation tank, and that has the earliest availability time. Create a restricted candidate list, the 2 brews that have highest demand, taking into account the availability of the yeast. Scheduling the wort in cooking lines. After the cooking, the wort goes to the fermentation tank. If the fermentation tank is full, the yeast is added to the fermentation process, takes place. Else cooks the next wort. Repeat the entire procedure until the demand of each brew is satisfied. How we will improve this algorithm? Choose one batch Si at random. Create a set of possible batches that can be interchanged with Si, such that the batch has the same size as Si, and batch uses the same yeast as the randomly chosen batch. Choose the random batch Sj. The first batch is Si, and the second randomly chosen batch is Sj from the set. Interchange Si with Sj and update the sequence of production in each cooking machine. Accept the move if a better mix pan is obtained and repeat the procedure. Else interchange with another random batch in the set. Continue this procedure until all the interchanges are explored or after a given number of iterations. So computational test, for the computational test, what we have done is we have taken 20 instances from the industry, and we made three group of instances made artificially. That 20 instances with low demand, and 20 instances with medium demand, and 20 instances with high demand. How we implemented this grasp algorithm using Java programming and tested on a workstation with these characteristics. So the results, the minimum days, this is the first column, was the time span given by the company. So minimum number of days based on the make span is 20 days and 44 minutes, 44 hours. But using our grasp, it's only 9 hours and 46 minutes. So we took only 7 seconds to get this solution. But the scheduler in the company took 1 entire day to get a feasible solution. So if you're taking the average number of days, it's 23.51 days. And based on this graph, we took only 13.07 days. But we took only 10 seconds. We took only 10 seconds to get the solution. And the maximum number of days, this company took 29.78 days, but we took only 20.54. This is the maximum number of days we took in our entire experiments. And the important thing, we got on in 15 seconds, we got the results. So if we are looking with the three another sets of instances with varying demands, low demands, medium demand, and high demand, grasp make span was 14.74 days, and with median demand 15.72 days, and high demand was 16.98 days. To the computation process took only less than 20 seconds in all the cases. But note that the decision maker in the company takes one entire day to generate the feasible schedule, but we got less than 1 minute all the better solutions or better scheduling. So what are the demerits? If we put forth a mathematical model, it will consume huge number of variables and constraints. The complex constraints to be represented in linear formulation. So what we have done, we consider another problem in the form of flexible job show scheduling problem, and we will see what are the characteristics of this flexible job show scheduling problem. In a flexible job show scheduling problem, the shop environment consists a number of machines, machine 1, 2, 3, etc. M number of machines are available, and set of jobs. J1 is the first job, and J2 is the second job. Like that, we have n number of jobs. So here each job has ni operations. So we will represent O11, the first operation in the first job, O12, the second operation of the first job, O13, like the third job of the first job. Like that, the objective is to minimize the make span. So each machine MJ can process at most one operation at a time, and operations have to be processed subsequently. That means we have to process previous operation we denote as I minus 1. It must be completed before starting the operation I. So assignment of operations have to be done over compatible machines. And non-preemptible operations. What is non-preemptible? If we start an operation, we have to finish it. It is not allowed. We start the process and after 5 minutes we stop, then we resume the operation after 5 minutes. No, if we start one operation, we have to finish continuously. And objective is to minimize the make span again. The studied problem characteristic, apart from all the FJSP or flexible job scheduling problem characteristics, we have a set of resources that we have seen with the yeast in our case, and the objective remains the same. So we have all the FJSP characteristics, and further, an operation can be assigned to a machine if and only if the machine and the required resources also are available. If the required resources must be available in order to assign the resource to the machine for a cooking. Further, resources are available in batches. Once the batch of resources is depleted, so once we consumed all the resources, it can be recovered after a certain units of time. Before the assigning the first unit of resource batch to any operation, there must be a recovery time of the previous batch. Recovery of the batch can start when the last unit of resource is consumed by an operation. And the resultant problem we call flexible job scheduling problem with resource recovery constraints, or FRRC. So in that case, we have done a comprehensive literature review. So we have seen none of the problems with the problem characteristics that we have deal with. So we will see one example to the better understanding of the problem. As we have seen in the problem description, there is certain number of jobs. So we are taking only two number of jobs, job 1 and job 2. Job 1 has five operations. Job 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is O15? Fifth operation of job 1. And the second job has 4 operations. First operation of the second job, second operation of the second job, third operation of the second job, fourth operation of the second job. And we have certain number of machines. Here we are considering only 3 machines, machine 1, 2, and 3. So if you are processing the second operation of the first job, if you are processing the second operation of the first job in machine 1, it takes 3 units of time to finish the process. If you are assigning the second operation of the first job in machine 2, it takes only 1 hour to finish the cooking process. And we cannot assign that operation in machine 3, and we need a resource 2 or yeast of type 2. And if you are considering the fourth operation of the first job, we cannot assign in machine 2, and we don't want any resources to process this operation. If you are considering the resource data, so we have 2 resources available, resource 1 and 2, and the batch says we have 2 units of resource 1 available, 2 units of resource 2 available, and the recovery time. Once we used all these 2 units, and we take 4 units of time to recover all the resources, and here we take 3 units of time to recover the resource 2. So we go to scheduling process of this problem. So what we have to do, we have to assign all these operations, 5 plus 4 operations, into these 3 machines, respecting the availability of the resources and availability of the machines. And objective is to minimize the make span. So these are the 3 machines available. So we take 1 operation. So the first operation, we are taking the first operation of the first job. We can assign in either of the machines, machine 1, 2, or 3. It is random and we are looking for initial solution. You can assign in any machines. So for some reason we are assigning in machine 1 with resource 1, because this is the requirement of the operation 1. And remember, the resource 1 has 2 units of resources 1 is available. So first unit we are assigning with operation 1 of job 1. So we are going to assign the next job in some other machines available. So next operation is available is first operation of the second job. So we can assign in machine 1 or machine 3. Obviously, if we assign in machine 3, we need only 1 units of time. If we assign in machine 1, we can assign only after 2, and we can finish 2 plus 4 is 6. So with our logic, it is better to assign in machine 3. And the requirement of this operation is resource 2. So, and further resource 2 is available, 2 units of resources available. So 1 unit we are assigning here with the operation 2-1. So after finishing the first operation of the job 2, we can assign second operation of the job 2 in some other available machines. So we can assign in machine 1. If you are assigning machine 1, we can only assign only after the machine is available. So machine 2 is anyway available, and machine 3 we can assign. So it is better option is to assign to machine 3 or machine 2 rather in machine 1. And we need 1 unit of resource. So we are using 1 unit of resource to assign this operation 2. And remember, we have only 2 units of resources available in resource 1. So we are assigning first unit of resource here and the second unit of resource here. So we finished all resources are available with resource 1. but we know that there is a recovery time of 4 units. So we are representing when these resources are available, resource 1 and resource 2. So after assigning this resource 1 to an operation, after 4 units of time, we are assigning 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. At the time 5, again these resources are available in 2 units. But meantime, we can assign some another operations requires resource 2. By this time, during this time until time 5, we cannot assign any operations that requires resource 1. Why? Because this resource is not available. But we can assign resource 2 to some another operations. So meantime, we are assigning the second operation of the job 1. We finished already the first operation of the job 1. So we can assign second operation of the job 1. And we know the second operation of the job 1 needs resource 2. So we are assigning also resource 2 also available in 2 units. So we are assigning first unit here and second unit here. So we used up all the resources available. So we had to wait 3 more hours to recover, or 3 more hours or 3 more days to recover the resources. So during this time, we cannot assign any operations. We cannot assign any operations that requires resource 2. So when the resource 1 is available, we can assign again those operations to some another machines that requires resources. In the similar fashion, we are assigning all the operations to all the machines. So we finished all the 9 operations. Our objective is minimize the make span. Minimize the make span means we have to finish this operation as early as possible. This is a feasible solution, not is an optimal solution. So we generated an initial solution, a feasible initial solution. So there may exist another feasible solution that is optimum with a better solution than 12. So we don't know it. So we have to explore. We have to explore all other possible solutions or all other possible combinations to find which is the minimum make span. Any questions until now? Okay. So now we will go for the mathematical model. So what we have done, we took the problem of Roshnai Wahid from the mathematical model and optimization of flexible substitute scheduling problem from the University of Windsor, and we adapted that problem model to our problem. So how we will represent the problem in mathematical model? First, we represent the objective function as minimize Cmax. And what is Cmax? Cmax is the minimization, make span minimization notation. So all the operations, completion time of all the operations we have must be less than or equal to this is Cmax, and we call this is a make span constraint. And we have one variable defined j, y, j, I, m takes the value 0 if operation ji is assigned to machine m. If operation ji assigned to machine m, we takes value 1, otherwise we takes 0. So if we sum all the possible combinations over a machine, and if takes 1, that's how we can assure that each operation is assigned to only one machine. So we cannot assign this operation or ji to 2 machines. It must be equal to 1. That means all the operations is assigned to only one and only one machine. So another variable is Cij Rq. What does it mean? Operation ji is assigned to qth unit of resource of qth unit of the resource R. Qth unit of the resource R, then we take the value 1, otherwise 0. So the summation must be less than or equal to 1. That means each operation is assigned to one and only one unit of resources. And with this restriction, we are assuring that each unit of resource is assigned to one and only one operation. Okay, then the variable CJI represents the completion time of operation JI, and PJIM is the processing time of operation JI in machine M, and SJI means the starting time of the operation or JI, and JIM that we have seen earlier takes the value 1 if operation JI is assigned to machine M, otherwise it takes 0. So with this, we are assuring that the precedence relations of the operations. What does it mean, the precedence relations? Here, we have to finish first operation of a job before starting the second operation. The similar fashion, we have to finish the first operation before starting the second operation of the same job. So with this restriction, we are assuring that the precedence of the same job, we are assuring. And here we are linking with the completion time of an operation along with the starting time of an operation with the processing time of an operation. And this variable takes the value 1 if and only if it is assigned, this operation assigned to machine A. And these two, with these two restrictions, we are assuring that the machine's process can only one operation at a time, and these two operations work simultaneously. And with these operations, with these representations, we are assuring that setting sequencing order between resource units. So we have to use up one unit of resources before starting the second unit of the resources of the same resource type. And here we are assuring that there must be a recovery time. We have to respect the recovery time of each unit of the resources. So that what does it mean by mod BR means? So we have to, these restrictions applies only on each batch, not on each unit of resources. Each batch of the resources, it works. So the next restrictions, synchronizing the starting time of operation along with the assigned unit of resources. Again, we are saying completion time, starting time, and the starting time of the resources all must be greater than or equal to 0, or non-negativity of the variables, and binary nature of the variables. Binary nature we are usually using for the assignation. So for the computational test, what we have taken is, we have taken 18 benchmark instances processed by this article, Dausre, Perez, and Pauli. And we have tested in 2 contexts, on 5 resource context and 1 resource context. And we have taken another 21 benchmark instances provided by Chambers and Barnes. Also, we have tested on 5 resource context and 1 resource context. So implementation, we have implemented with the C++ language and solved by means of Cplex optimizer of this version 12.6.3. And we tested on a computer with this characteristic, and we have limited maximum 1 hour for an instance. So these are the nature of the instances. So here we have 10 jobs. The first set has 10 jobs. See, if you go to the next class, we have 15 jobs. The next class has 20 jobs. And here we have a number of machines, the same. And here we are tested with the we have tested these resources in 1 resource context, and we have tested these instances in 5 resource context. Basically, these are the same tables with the same number of jobs, same number of operations, and same number of machines. And here again, these instances, we have made 10 copies each with different configuration of the resources. Also, this also has 10 different copies with a different configuration of the resources. So when we take the 10 copies, the average Cmax or average make span is provided in this column, and the gap given by Cplex optimizer is 86%, 85%. It is huge gap. And out of 10 copies, in the first set of instances, we got only one feasible solution, and other 9 does not return any feasible solution either. And here we got 9. And if you go to the larger instances, we got 0 instances with 5 feasible solution out of 10 in 1 hour time. So if we go with the 5 resources available, the similar characteristics maintained. So in average, make span is 12,830, and average gap is 88, and average number of solutions with the feasible solution is 3.72. Around the same in case of 5 resources also. In case of 5 resources also, we got like 11,677, and average gap is 87. Here it is 88, and average number of solutions with the feasible solution is 3.17. So we could not find any significant changes with 1 resource and 5 resources. So we see this is not an efficient mathematical model because we see 88% of the gap and 87% of the gap. So what we have done, so we proposed another solution, another meta heuristic for this problem to find is there any better solutions available. For that, what we have done, we represent this solution in another form in an array. So we take this operation 2, 1, or first operation of the second job. In machine 3, we represent this one. We have 3 indices. So first 2 indices represent the first index represent the job, second index represent the operation of that job, and third index represent the machine assigned. A similar fashion we can, this is the solution, initial solution we have, and we can represent the solution in this format. So what we have done, we find a critical path of this problem. So what is a critical path? We are checking why this is the last completed job. So why this is the job is delayed? Because the resource was not available. So see if the resource was available early, so we could have started the problem earlier. So we are checking why this job was delayed to be assigned, because the resource was not available. So we are checking when we assigned this resource to the last job, to this one. So we are checking why this operation was delayed, because this operation is not completed early. So we can start this operation only after the completion of this operation. So we are checking why this operation was delayed, because of the resource unavailability of the resource 2. So why this resource was unavailable? Because of this assignation. So we are checking because of this we are delayed this operation. Now we are checking why this operation was delayed. Why this operation was delayed? So resource was available. We used the resource 2, and resource 2 was already available. So we are checking why we delayed to assign this operation. So I see only the unavailability of the machines. So unavailability of the machines. We could not assign this operation to this machine 2. So now we are checking why this operation delayed, because of the precedence constraints. So we must finish this operation to start this operation. So we call this is the critical path. So we have to work on this critical path. We have to work on this critical path to get a better solution. So we can represent the operations in the critical path or like this. So in order to tackle this problem, we proposed a variable neighborhood search. We proposed a general variable neighborhood search algorithm to tackle this problem. So first we need shaking components. So shaking components we used we represent using nk, and we have another components in local search. In local search that we used NL. We will see what are the components in shaking component and local search. We will see in later slides. So for the moment, let us consider there are number of shaking components and number of local search components. And we represent the initial solution in its initial feasible solution created by constructive greedy heuristic as x, and f of x is f of x as local optimum of x, and we have a stopping criteria. So we need all these inputs. So outputs, x is the initial solution, and repeat the entire procedure until we meet the stopping criterion. So what is the stopping criterion we used? We need 10 consecutive execution of the experiment without any further improvements. That is the stopping criterion we have used. 10 consecutive execution of the algorithm without any improvement in the solution. So we are starting to the Kmax. So Kmax is the number of all neighborhood structures available in the shaking component. So we repeat, we go through all the shaking procedure. So first generate a solution x prime at random from the kth neighborhood of x. So what is this x? What is this x? The initial solution. So initial solution created by the greedy heuristic, and we create a neighborhood structure of the initial solution, and we generate x prime. So if with that x prime, we go to the local search. So we go to the L until all L max. What is L max? We explore all neighborhood structures in the local search. So we find the best solution in the local search. We find the best solution, and we represent as x double prime from the neighborhood with using the local search component of the x prime. X prime is the generated solution at random from the kth neighborhood of x. So basically what we have done, we have created an initial solution, then we create a x prime at random from the neighborhood structures of that x. Based on that x prime, exploring through the local search phase, we got x double prime. Then we are checking if the x, the local optimum of the x double prime is better than the local optimum of the x prime. If it is so, we replace x prime with x double prime, and we restart the procedure. We restart the local search procedure. If it is not better, we go to the next. We go to the next component. So we repeat this entire procedure throughout all the the shaking components. After we are out of the shaking component, we have to update the best found solution. If we could update the best solution, if we could update the initial solution with the best solution, if we could update the initial solution with the best found solution, we restart the entire procedure, and we restart the entire procedure and we repeat. Otherwise, we go to the next iteration and we repeat until we meet the stopping criteria. So what are the components we used in the shaking phase? We used the 5 components in the shaking phase. So we will see what are the 5 components. The first one is shifting a job in critical path. So these are the operations in the critical path. These are the operations in the critical path. So we choose one at random from the critical path and we are shifting that job. The first job we are shifting to this position. So all jobs will be moved to one position before. So this is the third operation of the first job and we are removing this second operation of the first job to next position. So this job will be, the third operation will be the second job. The third operation must be the second job and there this will not be any change. This will be copied as it is. The fourth job, after the shifting, it will be the third job and this will be the 2 for 1 will be the same. And after the shifting, after the 2, we are placing this job so that we finish the third job here. So it will be the fourth job. So this will be the fourth job, fourth operation of the first job. So between these two, all the operations of the same job will be updated. So the swapping, what we have done here, we have first job, job 1 and job 2. So what we will do, we will swap these jobs. 2 will be here and 1 will be here, and we must update all the jobs in between. So we are placing second job here. So the second operation is finished here. So second job is finished here. So the next must be third one. The next must be third one. And here is the first job. It was third job, third operation of the first job. So after swapping, the first job goes here. So we must update with this is B2. And this is the third operation. But we have finished the third operation here. So it will be the fourth operation. Fourth operation will be here. And the next job is the job 1. It was fourth here, but we have carried out this swapping. So we have finished the second operation of the first job here. So it must be the third operation here. And after this position, job must be 1. And we finish the third operation here. So the next operation must be 4 here. And after that swapping position, there won't be any change. So we have to update all the jobs in between the swapping positions. So if you go to the next operation, so shifting a job in a critical path with a machine reassignment. So here also we have to update all the jobs in between. So what happened at the end, the initial assignment was 2. Job, second operation of the first job was assigned to the machine 2. So after the actualization, we had to assign to the machine 3 of the same job. So we have to update all the jobs in between. The next operation is the shifting a job and reassigning to a different machine. So we had the third operation of the first job in machine 1. So after the shifting and updation, the operation is assigned to machine 2. 1, 3 was assigned to machine 1. After that, we are assigned to machine 3. All other will remain same. And the next is the neighborhood structures in the local phase. So we consider all the operations in the critical path and we will do reassigning all the machines. So here it was machine 3, here it was machine 3, and we are assigning to machine 1. Here it was machine 2, and here assigned to machine 3. Plus in the similar fashion, we are assigning all the operations in the critical path to some other machines. Another one is we are choosing 15% of the solution. Now we are leaving the critical path. Now we will do the 15% of the solution. It can be in critical path, or it cannot be in may not be in critical path. So we are choosing only 15% of the solution, and we are assigning to the different machines. It was machine 2 and we are assigning to machine 3, and we are assigning, it was in machine 2 and we are assigning to some other machines at random. Here it was in machine 1 and we are assigning to machine 2. And another operation we have carried out is the block, identify a block. So what is a block? In a critical path, the same operations, the consecutive operations carried out in a same machine. So it is carried out in machine 2. It also carried out in a machine 2. So it is carried out in machine 1 and this is carried out in a machine 2. So it can take place, these three operations can be formed in a block, this one, and this one. These three can be formed a block because these three are consecutive operations placed in a same machine 2. So what we will do, we are assigning, we are swapping two operations in the block. So here also we have to update the operations between these two, and after that we have to, here we have done the swapping and we have to reassign to some other machines. It was assigned to machine 2. Now after the swapping we have to update it to some other feasible machine. Here it was assigned to machine 2, so we have to assign to machine 1. So the last one, the shifting a job, also we have to take the 15% of the solution X prime and preserve machine assignment, and we are applying all the shifting possibilities. The last one is swapping two jobs in the 15% of the solution X prime. Also we have to preserve the machine assignment and we explore which is the best solution available. So for the computational test, we have used the same instances we have used in the mathematical model. 18 benchmark instances solved by the same author on 5 resource context and on 1 resource context, and 21 benchmark instances provided by Barnes with the same, with the 1 resource context and 5 resource context. Implementation, we have implemented the general VNS, general variable neighborhood search algorithm in C++ algorithm and workstation with these characteristics. So the general VNS, the algorithm, in all cases we got a initial solution as well as the best found solution, and the difference between the initial solution and the best found solution, a gap of 10%, and in some cases it's 3%, and in average it is 8%. And we got the average time, it takes only 541 seconds in case of 1 resources. So if you have 5 resources, we took only half the time, so 260 seconds, and the gap also average of 9. So in terms of gap, we got the same characteristics. At the time, when we have more resources, the assignment process could be finished as early as possible, and the make span remains the same, almost the same. So if we compare our algorithm, our general VNS algorithm with the mathematical model provided by the CPLEX, so with the CPLEX, we got only 67 feasible solutions out of 160 instances, but with the general VNS, 180 instances given us feasible solution based out of 180, and average time consumed by the mathematical model is, because we restricted until 1 hour, so it takes only 1 hour. Average is 1 hour, and average time taken by the GRASP algorithm is 541 seconds in case of 1 resources. In case of 5 resources, CPLEX gives us only 44 instances, gave us the feasible solutions out of 180 instances tested, and the general VNS gave us 180 instances out of 180. Here also, average time taken is 1 hour, and in case of general VNS, in case of the algorithm, it takes only 260 seconds. So we took another case with the small instances. In case of smaller instances, these are the description of the all jobs 10, 15, and 15, and operations were 100, 150, and 225. The same instances we tested our resources with one resource and resource 5 resources. So we have, when we tested all the 100 jobs, then we removed 25% of the jobs, then we removed 50% of the jobs, then we removed 75% of the jobs in both cases, 5 resource case and 1 resource case. So with the Cplex solutions, when we have 100% of the jobs, only 14 cases gave us the feasible, and number of solutions optimum were 0. But in case of 75% jobs removed, 21 out of 21 were feasible, and 20 were optimum out of 21 instances. The similar characteristics maintained with the 1 resources also. So in general VNS, we cannot identify this is optimum or not. So we are checking only the feasible. In all the cases, we got the feasible solution with the general VNS. So we are checking in how many cases GVNS is better, max span of GVNS is better than Cplex. So here we've identified 21 cases is better than GVNS. So here we see 14 cases are better than the Cplex. So here gave us the 21 instances as feasible. Out of 21, we find only 14 are better than Cplex. Here it is 18, here it is 8, and again 8. So when the resources are 1, push 21, 21, 16, and 20, the corresponding numbers. So if you are dealing with the gap percentage, the minimum is minus 74. How we calculate this gap? We calculate this gap with the max span GVNS minus max span Cplex over max span Cplex 400. So max span GVNS, this negative means the max span of GVNS is less than max span of Cplex. So when it is negative, it is good for our GVNS. So in terms of computational time, Cplex took 1 hour maximum. Cplex took 1 hour maximum because we restricted maximum time available for the Cplex is 1 hour. So when the 100% of the jobs, all the cases took minimum time is 1 hour in 5 resource case as well in one resource case. But in terms of GNS, the maximum time taken is 120 seconds. And the minimum is in most of the cases 9 seconds, and it is a negligible difference. But here, comparing with the Cplex and GVNS, there is a huge difference between 120 seconds to the 1 hour. And most of the cases we see the GVNS is much better than the Cplex. So the conclusions, a case study of the proving problem has been presented. A meta-heuristic based on GRASP is proposed for the solving problem, and the efficiency of the GRASP has been shown by solving 20 real instances from the local brewery. The obtained solutions allowed a reduction of production time, resulting in an improvement in the production capacity. And a new problem called FRRC has been introduced. A mathematical formulation for the FRCC has been presented. A meta-heuristic based on GVNS has been proposed. A comparative study has been carried out with several instances, and the results are shown that GVNS outperforms Cplex in terms of quality and computation time. Future work propose other solution approaches for the FRRC, in order to compare with the proposed GVNS, improve the proposed mathematical model in order to obtain better solutions. Study of FRRC with multiple resource requirements. In the case study, extend the scope of the problem to the conditioning and bottling phases in order to optimize the overall production process. I thank to my professors Angelica Salazar and Dr. Wilson Boyer and Dr. Hania Astrid and Francisco Angel Bello and Dr. Iris Abril and all other professors of the department PCs and FEMA UNL Optisat and CONACYT. CONACYT was my funding agency, friends, family, and thank all God. Any questions?
I think we can move on to the interactive session.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear.
Sir, which are better when it comes to research in mathematics? Better.
Which are the better?
Research. When it comes to
research
research in
areas.
mathematics.
I don't know. It depends on your research interest, no? So it was my area is in operations research. Is that your question? You can ask me in Malayalam. I am from Kerala. And Malayalam ചോദിക്കാൻ ആയിരുന്നു ചോദ്യം.
യെസ് സർ, ഐ തിങ്ക് അത് തന്നെയായിരുന്നു ചോദ്യം. ഏതാണ് ഏറ്റവും നല്ല റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് അവരുടെ ചോദ്യം.
അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള ഏരിയ എടുക്കുക. ഇപ്പൊ ഏതെടുത്താലും അതിനകത്ത് എന്നാ ഏത് ഏരിയ വേണേലും എടുക്കാം. ഇപ്പൊ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് വരുന്ന ഡാറ്റാ സയൻസും സ്റ്റാറ്റിസ്റ്റിക്സും ഒക്കെയാണ്. ഇപ്പൊ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ അത് മെഷീൻ ലേണിങ്ങും ഡാറ്റാ സയൻസും ഒക്കെയാണ് വരുന്നത്. ബിഗ് ഡാറ്റ, അതിൻ്റെ പൈത്തൺ പ്രോഗ്രാമിങ്, ഏത് പഠിച്ചാലും പ്രോഗ്രാമിങ് പഠിക്കേണ്ടി വരും. ഇപ്പം റിസർച്ചിൽ പോവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ തിയററ്റിക്കൽ മാത്തമാറ്റിക്സ് അല്ല, എന്നാ അപ്ലൈഡ് മാത്തമാറ്റിക്സിൽ എവിടെ പോയാലും വരും. ഇപ്പം ജോലി കിട്ടാൻ ഏറ്റവും എളുപ്പം പറയാനാണെങ്കിൽ ഡാറ്റാ സയൻസും പിന്നെ മെഷീൻ ലേണിംഗ് ഒക്കെയാണ് വരുന്നത്. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വലിയ പേടിക്കാനൊന്നുമില്ല. ശരിക്കും മാത്തമാറ്റിക്സ് തന്നെയാണ് അതിൻ്റെ എല്ലാത്തിൻ്റെയും ബേസിക്. പിന്നെ കുറച്ച് പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് കൂടി വേണ്ടി വരും, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. നല്ല സൗണ്ട് മാത്തമാറ്റിക്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എവിടെയും പോയി പെർഫോം ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. Any other questions?
ഹലോ സർ.
കേൾക്കാം പറഞ്ഞു. മുറിഞ്ഞു പോവാ, കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല. ഒന്നുകൂടി പറയാമോ?
ഒരു നാട്ടിലല്ല പഠിച്ചത്,
ഞാൻ ഡിഗ്രി
അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ എത്തി. അങ്ങനെ
ഞാൻ ഇവിടെയല്ല പഠിച്ചതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഞാൻ ഡിഗ്രി പഠിച്ചത് നിർമ്മലേരി കോളേജിലാണ്. പിന്നെ NIT പഠിച്ചു. പിന്നെ അവിടെ പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പിന്നെ ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ലോകം മൊത്തം അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമായിരുന്നു. ഇവിടെ എനിക്ക് ഫെലോഷിപ്പ് കിട്ടി. അങ്ങനെ ഇവിടെ എത്തി. ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് PhD ചെയ്യാൻ മെക്സിക്കോ വരണമെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ഫെലോഷിപ്പ് ഉണ്ട്. ഫെലോഷിപ്പ് ഇവിടെ അവിടെ കൊണാസിറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പ്രസന്റേഷനിൽ കാണിച്ചില്ല. ഇവരാണ് എനിക്ക് ഫെലോഷിപ്പ് എന്ന് ഇതല്ല. ഇതാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലെ UGCയും സയൻസ് ആൻഡ് ടെക്നോളജി എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ഒരു ഏജൻസിയാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ. കൊണാസിറ്റാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ ഫണ്ടിങ് ഫുള്ളും ചെയ്യുന്നത്. കൊണാസിറ്റ് പിന്നെ ഒപ്റ്റിസാദ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു പ്രൈവറ്റ് കമ്പനി ആയിരുന്നു. ഇവരും കൂടിയാണ് എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ ഫണ്ട് നടത്തിയത് PhDയുടെ സമയത്ത്. ഇപ്പം PhD ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്നാ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ മതി. അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തിട്ട് അത്യാവശ്യം ആവറേജ് മാർക്ക് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു 75% തോന്നുന്നു MSCയുടെ മാർക്ക് അവർ പറയുന്ന ഫെലോഷിപ്പ് തരാൻ. അത്രയും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മെക്സിക്കോയിൽ PhD ചെയ്യാൻ വരാം. മെക്സിക്കോ മാത്രമല്ല, എവിടെയും PhD ചെയ്യാൻ പോകാൻ പറ്റും. PhD ചെയ്യാൻ പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോഴേ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്താൽ മതി.
ഹലോ സർ.
ആഹാ.
സർ ഞാൻ സ്വീറ്റി, MSc ചെയ്യാണ്, ഫസ്റ്റ് MSc ആണ്. സർ PhD കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പിന്നെ പോസ്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടറൽ റിസർച്ചിന് എന്താ ചെയ്തത്?
പോസ്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടറൽ റിസർച്ചിൽ ഞാൻ ചെയ്തത് എൻ്റെ പോസ്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടറൽ സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ ചെയ്തതാണ് ഈ വർക്ക്. ഇതിപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ ഗൂഗിൾ സ്കോളറിൽ പോയി ഇത് ഡൗൺലോഡ് ഇത് വായിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. അതാണ് എന്നെ ഡീറ്റെയിൽ ആയിട്ട് നോക്കണമെങ്കിൽ ജനറലൈസ്ഡ് ഫ്ലെക്സിബിൾ ജോബ് ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് പ്രോബ്ലം, പിന്നെ 2 അപ്രോച്ചസ് ടു ഹാൻഡിൽ ദ ഡൈനാമിക്സ് ഇൻ എ ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് പ്രോബ്ലം വിത്ത് സീക്വൻസ് ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് സെറ്റപ്പ് ടൈംസ്. ആൻഡ് ഈ 4 വർക്കാണ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്തത്. അല്ല, ഈ 3 വർക്കുകളാണ് പോസ്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടറേറ്റിൻ്റെ സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ ചെയ്തത്. പിന്നെ ഒരെണ്ണം എന്നെ ഒരു 3 സീക്വൻസ് സം ഓഫ് ഗ്രാഫ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു വർക്ക് എന്നെ ഒരു ക്രൈസ്റ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി, ബാംഗ്ലൂരിലെ ക്രൈസ്റ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയിലെ ഒരു പ്രൊഫസറായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു. ഡ്യൂറിങ് ദ പോസ്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടറേറ്റ് ഐ ഹാവ് ഡൺ ദീസ് 3 വർക്ക്സ്. ആൻഡ് ഇതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫ്ലെക്സിബിൾ ജോബ് ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് പ്രോബ്ലം ഇപ്പോൾ കണ്ടതിൻ്റെ പ്രോബ്ലത്തിൻ്റെ തന്നെ ഒരു മോസ്റ്റ് ജനറലൈസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള വേർഷനാണ് ചെയ്തത്. പിന്നെ ഇത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഡൈനാമിക് ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് ആണ്. ഡൈനാമിക് ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇപ്പം എത്ര ഓപ്പറേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ ജോബിൽ നിന്ന് അറിയില്ല. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഷെഡ്യൂൾ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്തായിരിക്കും ഓരോ ജോബുകൾ വരുന്നത്. അന്നേരം അപ്പം നമുക്ക് ഡൈനാമിക് ആയിട്ട് ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് ഹൊറൈസന്റെ സമയത്ത് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് തീരുമാനം എടുക്കേണ്ടി വരും. അതാണ് അൽഗോരിതംസ് പ്രപ്പോസ് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പോൾ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് കൂടുതൽ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് അറിയണമെങ്കിൽ ഇതിനകത്ത് നോക്കിയാൽ ഇപ്പം എന്താ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ചെയ്തതെന്നറിയാം.
താങ്ക്സ് സർ.
Any more questions about the presentation, about the algorithms or anything?
സർ, നമ്മുടെ ഡിഗ്രി സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ റിസർച്ച് പഠിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു അതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും. PG സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഉണ്ട് ഇവിടെ കുറച്ച് പേര്, പഠിക്കുകയാണ്.
ഓക്കെ. മനസ്സിലായത്. അത് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ റിസർച്ചിലൊരു ഇതാണ്. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ നാട്ടിൽ പഠിക്കുമ്പം അതിൻ്റെ പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ഒന്നും പഠിക്കാത്ത, അൽഗോരിതംസ് ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. നമ്മൾ തന്നെ കുറച്ച് മോഡലിംഗ് മാത്രമേ പഠിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ, പിന്നെ സിംപ്ലക്സ് മെത്തേഡ്. അതുകൊണ്ടൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും. ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ആയിട്ട് കുറച്ചുകൂടി വലിയ പ്രോബ്ലമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് അൽഗോരിതം ഒക്കെ വേണ്ടി വന്ന് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാം. ഇത് ബേസിക്കലി ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് പ്രോബ്ലമാണ്. നമ്മൾ OR ചെയ്യുന്ന ചെറിയൊരു പ്രോബ്ലമാണ്, പക്ഷെ അതൊരു വലിയ കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതേ ഉള്ളൂ. കൂടുതൽ ചോദ്യങ്ങളൊന്നും ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച് ആൻഡ് സീ യു ഇൻ ദ നെക്സ്റ്റ് പ്രസന്റേഷൻ. കൂടുതൽ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇതെന്റെ ഇമെയിൽ അഡ്രസ് ആണ്. ഇങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് വല്ല എഴുതിയാണെങ്കിൽ ചോദിച്ചോളൂ. jobishudi@gmail.com എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഇമെയിലാണ്. എല്ലതും എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിച്ചോളൂ, റിപ്ലൈ അയച്ചേക്കാം. Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Ms. Preeti for your vote of thanks.
ഹലോ. സർ, എൻ്റെ ക്യാമറ ഓൺ ആവുന്നില്ല. സോ I'll continue. Respected Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Jobish Vallikaungal, our beloved Head of the Department Aishwarya Ma'am, Assistant Professor Priya Ma'am, Assistant Professor Anupama Ma'am, all other faculties and all my dear friends. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on the behalf of the Mathematics and Statistical Department and the entire Providence Women's College and R&D cell crew, like to express our sincere thanks to the chief guest, Professor Dr. Jobish Vallikaungal, for your great enlightening session. I also wish to express my gratitude to Priya Ma'am for her words. I also extend my thanks to our beloved HOD Aishwarya ma'am and Anupama ma'am. Thanks for the Mathematical and Statistical Department and all the R&D cell members of Providence Women's College who has given this opportunity to being part of such a great session. And I'm happy to express the vote of thanks to all students who have made this session a grand success. Once again, thank one and all present here. Thank you.
Once again, thank you everyone for your active participation.
ഓക്കെ താങ്ക് യു സർ. സാറിന്
Thank you. Bye.
ബ്രേക്ക്ഫാസ്റ്റ് കഴിക്കാൻ ടൈമായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കി കഴിക്കേണ്ടി വരും.
കുറച്ചുകൂടി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടേ കഴിക്കാറുള്ളൂ.
ആണോ?
താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് സർ.
അപ്പൊ
കുറച്ചുകൂടി നേരത്തെ വെക്കായിരുന്നു, കുഴപ്പമൊന്നുമില്ലായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ ഒരു ടൈം വെച്ചപ്പോൾ മാറിപ്പോയി, അതുകൊണ്ട് കുറച്ചുകൂടി നേരത്തെ വെക്കായിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വല്ലാണ്ട് രാത്രിയായി കാണില്ല.
ഇല്ല,
ഇല്ല, ഇവിടെ 6 മണി 6:20.
എൻ്റെ ഒരു കസിൻ സിസ്റ്റർ അവിടെയാണ് ഇവിടെ പഠിച്ചത്. അവള് എക്കണോമിക്സ് അവിടെയാ പഠിച്ചത്, പ്രൊവിഡൻസിൽ. പിന്നെ അവള് BEd അവിടെയാ ചെയ്ത്. ഇപ്പൊ പ്രിയ അവിടെ ഹാപ്പി ടു പ്രസന്റ്.
അപ്പൊ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ടൈം നാട്ടിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ നമ്മളെ കോളേജിലേക്ക് വരിക.
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും.
അപ്പൊ എന്തായാലും കസിൻ സിസ്റ്ററിന്റെ കൂടെ അന്ന് വന്ന പോലെയല്ല, കോളേജ് ഒരുപാട് മാറിയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
ഓർമ്മയുണ്ട്.
ആ മാറ്റങ്ങളൊക്കെ കാണാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നേരിട്ട് വരിക.
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും.
അപ്പൊ
താങ്ക് യു ഓൾ.
താങ്ക് യു
ബൈ.
സർ.
ബൈ.
Thank you, sir.